you're looking to dive into topics on how to live a happier, healthier, more fit, and long lifespan, then you've come to the right podcast. Livin the Dream with me, Coach Damian Evans. Together, we will explore the topics on all things health, fitness, and wellness. Together, we will be lifelong learners on this journey to living the ultimate dream. What up, Dream Team? Coach D here coming at you from beautiful sunny San Diego, and welcome back to the Livin the Dream podcast. We're going to finish the week strong here by covering how to properly fuel our bodies based on what works best for us individually and in order to reach for our health, fitness, and wellness goals and in order to live our dream lives. And let's be honest, we all know something. Dieting is hard. For anyone that has ever wanted to lose some body fat, it's important to put yourself into what's called a calorie deficit, eating less energy than you're using and consuming and navigating all the challenges that come with that process. Most diets will work, but very few will work long term. Most of us don't struggle with starting a diet. I'm going to start on Monday. I'm going to eat super clean. I'm going to meal prep, whatever it is. What we do struggle with is staying on a diet that can be sustainable and then smoothly transitioned into more of a maintenance phase or eventually maybe a building phase, depending on whatever your goals are. But again, most of us don't struggle with starting a diet. We struggle with staying on one consistently enough for it to work. You're motivated at first. You eat cleaner, you prep your meals, maybe even cut out all the sugar and all the alcohol for a bit. But after a few days or after a few weeks, the motivation starts to fade. It'll start to fade for everyone. Hunger creeps in, cravings show up, you feel tired, you're consistently thinking about food, and you're wondering if all this effort is even worth it. And then it happens. A birthday party, a night out with some friends, a stressful day at work. And suddenly, that quote-unquote cheat meal, it turns into a full-blown cheat weekend. Sound familiar? You are not alone. Dieting isn't just about food. It's about psychology. It's about your hormones, your metabolism. It's about your social life. It's about your environment and how your body and brain adapt to the stress of eating less than you're used to. That's where today's Fuel Up Friday episode comes in. Today, we're diving into 3 of the most misunderstood and controversial strategies in the nutrition world. We're going to talk about cheat meals. We're going to talk about something called refeeds, and we're going to talk about diet breaks. We're going to break down what each one of those really means. No fluff, no myths, just the real science and real application. Cheat meals, refeeds, diet breaks. We'll explain how they work, what the research says, and how to know if you should be using each of these in your plan. But most importantly, we're going to show you how to use these tools strategically, not as excuses to overeat, but as a part of a long-term sustainable nutrition strategy that works with your body instead of against it. Let's start with some definitions because most people are going to be confused right out of the gates with these terms. What's the difference? Definitions and real-world examples of these 3 tools. Let's just imagine that you're on a diet eating 1,800 calories per day, and your maintenance level is closer to 2,300. So if your maintenance level to what you need to eat in order to just maintain where you're at is 2,300 calories a day, and you're eating 1,800 calories per day, you're in a 500 calorie deficit. Most experts will say that if you do that, you'll lose about a pound per week of weight. Now let's define our 3 terms in this context with those numbers. Let's talk about a free meal, formerly known as a quote-unquote cheat meal, a free meal. This is a planned one-off meal where you're going to let go of strict tracking and enjoy something maybe a little more indulgent. Maybe you go out for burgers and fries with friends on Saturday night and you don't track it, but you enjoy it mindfully and you return to your normal diet the next day. That's a free meal, also called a cheat meal by some people. A refeed day. This is a planned increase in your calories, usually just for one day, with a specific focus on increasing your carb intake. So for example, you're going to bump your calories from that 1,800 calorie deficit. You're going to bump it up and you're going to eat 2,300. Maybe that's your maintenance, or maybe even just a little bit more, 2,500 for just one day. Here's the trick. You have to eat mostly clean, carb-heavy meals like rice or sweet potatoes or oats or low-fat pasta. Your protein stays high, always trying to hit that protein intake, and your fats stay moderate. So it's a refeed day. You're increasing your calories to maintenance or a little above maintenance after being in this calorie deficit for a while. And you bump it up by eating just a little bit more carbohydrates, heavy carbohydrate meals like mostly clean rice, sweet potatoes, oats. So that's a refeed day. You're increasing your calories for just one day. A diet break. The third tool, diet break, is a temporary pause in your diet that lasts from maybe 3 days to 7 days, where you eat at maintenance calories instead of a deficit. So you're still eating clean and you're still tracking your intake. You're not binging, but you're eating more. Maybe here you're reducing your cardio a little bit and you're allowing your metabolism and your hunger hormones to reset. So you've been on a diet for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It's time for a 3 to 7 day diet break where you bring your calories back up, not with junk food. You just increase the amount of good, clean foods that you're eating back up to a maintenance calorie level for 3 to 7 days. Got it? Okay, good. Now let's break each one of these down a little bit further and talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of each of these strategies. Back to the free meal, the cheat meal, the good. This is a psychological relief. Having a free meal to look forward to throughout the week can increase your dietary adherence. If you're saying like, oh, I'm going to eat clean because I get this free meal here on Saturday that I'm looking forward to eating with my friends, where I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to eat like an a-hole. I'm going to just enjoy something that might be a little more indulgent, not stress about it, and get back to my diet the next meal. The good, it also has social freedom. It helps you to stay flexible in your real life, because real life is not like in a metabolic ward where you can control every single variable. Like going out to dinner with your friends or going out to some sort of event without panicking. It's also good because it's a mindset shift. Calling it a free meal instead of a cheat meal, it removes the guilt and the shame. Cheat insinuates that you're doing something wrong. Free means that it's something that you have planned into your entire plan. Now, the bad when it comes to this free meal, it could turn into a slippery slope for sure. A free meal can turn into a cheat day, which turns into a cheat weekend, and then we've lost the whole point. Also, the bad, it could have some poor food choices here. Many people choose hyperpalatable, ultra-processed foods that wreck digestion and don't support their goals. There's a difference between eating a burger and fries and being done with it, or maybe making a good decision like getting double the protein and removing the bun and getting a lettuce wrap or something like that. Like you can still indulge by making good choices and still have a higher calorie intake on this cheap meal without going crazy and ordering the shake and the post-dessert creme brulee and drinking 2 bottles of wine. Like the poor food choices could definitely come into play here if you're not completely driven towards your bigger why. And the ugly, It could create a emotional roller coaster, guilt, shame, the urge to overcompensate the next day, over restricting yourself because you were quote unquote bad. This is just an unhealthy relationship with food. You're seeing clean eating as a punishment and free meals as rewards. This could create this toxic cycle. So the good, the bad, the ugly with the free meal. Plan your free meals in advance so that you don't go into the bad or the ugly. Don't make them impulsive. Plan your free meals in advance and try to hit 3 marks. When you're doing your free meal, number 1, eat it slowly and enjoy every bite. Eat it, bite the food, put it down, chew it, enjoy the taste, enjoy the flavors and the textures. Eat mindfully. Don't just cram it down your throat. And stop when you're comfortably full. Number 2, stop when you're comfortably full. Eat until you're about 80% full. You don't have to go overboard like a Thanksgiving meal. And number 3, get back to your normal plan the very next meal. Not the next week, not the next day. Get back to your normal plan the next meal. So eat it slowly and enjoy every bite. Stop when you're comfortably full and get back to your normal plan the next meal. So that is the free meal. Let's move on to the refeed day. The good. When you do a refeed day, you have what's called glycogen replenishment. All that means is you refuel your muscles with the carbohydrates that you need for better training. You give your body the fuel it needs for better training. So you're actually giving it some extra oomph in your next workouts rather than depleting yourself and being in that calorie deficit. When you're in a calorie deficit, energy levels may vary, your intensity in your workouts may drop, but having this refeed day, it gives you that refuel. It also helps you with a hormonal boost. It temporarily increases hormones like leptin, which helps to regulate your hunger. So if you're dealing with these cravings, which you're going to be a little hungry when you're in a calorie deficit, that's just the way it is. Giving yourself this refeed day temporarily helps regulate those hunger signals. And it also gives you a mood and energy bump. You often feel more motivated and sharper mentally after this proper refeed meal, this refeed day. The bad when it comes to this, a lot of people overcomplicate it. People confuse refeed days with entire cheat days, and they load up on fat and carbs. And they're missing the point. They see The Rock, who eats 10,000 calories and has 2 stacks of pancakes and fried chicken and syrup, and he has these crazy refeed meals and days. You don't need to overcomplicate it like that. You're just increasing your calorie amount, still eating good quality, clean foods. Also the bad, if you do it too frequent, if you're not lean or training hard, refeeding too often can really stall your fat loss goals. So there's a balance here on when you can use your refeed days and how you use your refeed days. The ugly diet justification tool here. I need a refeed every single weekend. Well, no, you don't. If you're not deep in a calorie deficit, if you've only been going for a week, or if you're not training too intensely, you're not really using the fuel that you're eating, this really could be hurting your progress by adding these refeed days in. You kind of have to be able to need it in order to use it. And that takes some awareness, some self-awareness. So my tips for you is to use refeed days when you've been dieting for 6+ weeks. This is when you can start to add it in. When you're training really hard. So you have strength, you have cardio, you're training hard. And when you're getting lean, so men, when you get under 12% body fat, women, when you get under 22% body fat, then you can focus on high carb, low fat, get your protein meals. Think things like sushi, rice bowls. You could do like good quality pancakes without butter, or a pasta dish with some lean protein in it. So that is a refeed. Your refeed days can be great to give you that mood and energy bump, give you a hormonal shift that will help regulate hunger. It helps to refuel your muscles for better training, but it can stall your progress if not used properly. And the third, let's finish up with diet breaks. Diet breaks, they are great for hormonal reset. They boost leptin, they balance ghrelin. Leptin helps with your hunger signals. Ghrelin, it balances that out so you're not always dealing with cravings, and that helps to improve your metabolism. It gives you a psychological relief, this diet break. For 3 to 7 days, you now have the pressure taken off of constantly just dieting and being in this deficit. And a diet break is great for performance recovery. You're going to get stronger again in the gym. So it gives you this boost in performance, this psychological relief. It's great for your hormones after being on a diet for too long. The bad for diet breaks here, the bad is it does take discipline. Just because you're eating more doesn't mean you're on vacation, doesn't mean that your diet or fat loss goals are stopped. Still track, still hit your protein, and still move your body. If you don't, this could be a slippery slope. It takes discipline because a diet break could turn into just going back to what you normally were doing and getting you the results that you were getting. And then the ugly, no structure equals disaster. If it's a free-for-all here, you'll likely undo all the weeks of progress that you got from your diet. So treat it like a recovery week, not a binge week. My tip for you here is to take a diet break every 6 to 12 weeks if you've been dieting consistently and you've been on point. For this diet break, increase your calories by maybe 15 to 20%. Pull back on the cardio just a little bit because cardio is a stress to the body. And when you're changing your calorie intake and you're increasing your calories and throwing on a bunch of cardio, that might be a little too much stress and it might have a rebound that you're not really ready for or not looking for. Make sure you sleep more so you're giving your body the time it needs to recover from all the dieting that you've been doing, and train hard. Stimulate the muscles, recover the muscles by giving it time to recover and sleep. Increasing your calories is going to give you that fuel to train hard, and then get right back into your deficit. And when you go into your deficit, think about the training intensity. It doesn't have to be quite as high because when you're in a deficit, that is a huge stress to the body. When you start to go high intensity training, that's another stress, and it could be that too much delta change in stresses in the body that will create a pushback that you're not looking for. My final thoughts here. What is right for you? Here's the hierarchy. Free meals. They're great for beginners or people who want long-term sustainability. Use it for mental flexibility, not for physical change. A free meal. For your refeed days, ideal if you're getting lean, lifting hard, and want to boost your performance, or if you want to break through a plateau, use refeed days. If you're getting lean, lifting hard, and want to boost your performance or break through a plateau, that's when you use a refeed day. And a diet break, the 3 to 7 days of a diet break, this is essential if you've been in a long deficit. If you're plateaued, or if you're feeling drained, or if you're showing signs of your metabolism slowing down, meaning like you don't want to move as much, you're fidgeting less, your workouts are creating this sort of like you don't feel great in your workouts, it might be time for a diet break. Avoid all three of these if you haven't been consistent in your regular diet or your workouts. These are not for you if you have not been consistent. These are what I would say are earned tools, not shortcuts. Look, dieting isn't just about cutting calories. It's about working with your body instead of punishing it. Free meals, refeeds, and diet breaks, they are not magic bullets. But when you use them correctly, they can help you to avoid burnout, keep your metabolism humming, and stay in the game long enough to actually win, to reap the benefits of compounding interest of being consistent towards a goal. If you've struggled with staying consistent, or if you've done the weekdays perfect, but the weekends are wrecked, and if you've done that cycle for months, it might be time to rethink your strategy. The way that we do it here, the Live in the Dream Team way, is about sustainable health, long-term results, and feeling damn good about while you do it. So whether you're looking to drop fat, build muscle, or just feel more in control around food, now you have some tools to help you get there. I hope this episode was helpful. I hope it was eye-opening, and I hope that it's actionable for you when you do need to use these tools. And if you know someone that needs to hear what we talked about today, let them know. Let them know. Send this episode. If you know someone that has been on a lot of diets, if they've been struggling, if they yo-yo, if they're all or nothing, they could probably benefit from a little bit of this information. Let them know you're thinking about them. I'll catch you next week. And until then, eat smart, train hard, and keep living the dream. And that's it, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me on this Fuel Up Friday episode of the Livin the Dream podcast. Please share the knowledge that you gain with your friends and family and hold each other accountable. If this episode inspired you, share it with a friend who could benefit from a little bit of help when it comes to dieting. To support this podcast and help it grow, please subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to this podcast on and leave a review telling others how this podcast has benefited you. Leave a comment on this episode letting me know how you're incorporating what you're learning. And this really is a non-cost way to help get this important wellness content into more people's ears. Tag me at livingthedream_podcast or at coachdamian_SD and let us know how this episode benefited you. Let us know what we missed. Let us know what we got wrong. We want to know. Message us if you have any suggestions or tips that would help your Livin the Dream team that we can discuss in future episodes. I will be right here with you working on making us stronger, happier, and healthier humans. Until next time, friends, keep living the dream.